Make sure I turn that down because
This is Star 106.5 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. It's time for Your Lane with Coach Trish Hanna.
Yeah, time to empower, educate, and encourage your women to go to baby you through. Whatever you've been going through, we can talk about it. We ain't passing no judgment. So don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever you're really gonna try. Stay in your lane. Come out the dark and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. Tune into your lane talk show. It makes us feel good just to know we're not alone. No more will be isolated and cast aside. I want you to come out the door. Just don't be afraid of your heart. Don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever you're really gonna try. Stay in your lane. Come out the dark and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. Your lanes off show with Coach Trish Hanna.
please, why you just cut me off like that, man? The song ain't over. Welcome, everyone, to your Lane Talk Show with your girl, Coach Trish Hanna. We're broadcasting live from beautiful Nassau, Bahamas. It is so good to be in your company once again. To our first-time listening audience, welcome to the show. Your Lane Talk Show was created to educate, empower, and encourage women of all ages. And I say this time and time again, even though this is a women's talk show, we have men that listen in and tune in, some of them more than y'all, okay? So we want to thank and welcome the men, our men listeners as well. Thank you for being a part of Your Lane Talk Show. Now, as you know, as always, I try to speak as much as I can, as fast as I can, so we could get the show up and rolling. But I cannot continue the show unless I talk about last week's show. Oh, my goodness. Last week's show was phenomenal. The topic was overcoming homosexuality, part 2. We had with us Coach Angela Robertson. She took us on a journey, y'all. She took us on a journey of how it began with her just simply playing house. Y'all know, maybe I thought it was just Bahamians, because last year I had part 1 of the show where we had 2 Bahamian guests who spoke about overcoming homosexuality, and they said that they both played house when they were younger as well, and they also said that they went to slumber parties, and the same thing with this particular audience guest. She stated that, and she's an American, and she stated that it started with playing house as well. It also went into going to slumber parties, etc. But initially it started with sexual abuse, which we find in most cases it happens normally because somebody was sexually abused as a child. But if you want to know more about that particular show, you can go and check out episode 106 on YouTube. Look up Coach Trish Hanna. While you're there, please like and subscribe. You can watch part 1 and part 2, Overcoming Homosexuality. All right. Now, today, I need y'all to listen up and tune in. This one is really near and dear to my heart. It's time. It's time to call up a friend. It's time to share the page. It's time to tag someone, because we are bringing to you today a topic that is crucial for many households, and it's hiring help. All right. Whether you're looking for someone to keep your home spotless, care for your little ones, or provide dedicated nursing care for a loved one, finding the right person can make all the difference. For it's been like 4 years now. 4 years now. This is May 12th, 2022. I started a Facebook group entitled Bahamas Housekeepers and Caregivers. Now, my reason for starting that particular group is because, this actually a little touchy for me, but my good housekeeper had to go back home to her country, to her for her children, and I was stuck. I was stuck trying to find someone who I can deem as suitable as possible for my home, to take care of my home, to leave with, valuables. I don't have to worry about locking nothing up per se. Sometimes I may want to have the kids, extra time, of course, making sure that we pay them for extra if they watch the kids for us or babysit the kids for us. Someone who is on time. And some people have preferences. And honestly, and this is my household, and as for me and my house, we serve the Lord. I would prefer a God-fearing individual. So it was kind of hard for me. And I was like, guess what? I know if this is hard for me, because I had a lot of colleagues and friends who've been asking the same thing. You ain't know nobody who could come and do. I don't know. You know anybody who could come and clean out? No, we don't know nobody. So I decided to start the Facebook group, and to be honest with you, it's just phenomenal how much it has grown within the last 4 years. We have about 4,000 plus members in that group alone. Okay. And every single day, posts are up with people looking for caregivers, looking for housekeeping services, looking for babysitters. And then and on the flip side of it, we have people who are saying, hey, I have been doing this for this amount of years. You can come and hire me. I've been cleaning and I have references. I am CPR certified in this area and that area. You can give me a call. And it's been a blessing. And every single time that I read those posts, I smile and I say, God, I give you praise, because somebody is being hired or someone is hiring someone so we could keep our economy going. All right. So that is what the premise of that group is for. And I've seen where it's been a blessing, and it will continue to be a blessing by God's grace. Joining me are three distinguished Bahamian professionals, all right, who I found on this platform, Bahamas Housekeepers and Caregivers. And these women, they specialize in some of the essential home services that we need. All right. They are going to help us explore how to properly vet potential hires, the key questions you would or should ask during the hiring process, and what to look for to ensure you bring the best possible help into your home. Now, by the end of today's show, you'll be equipped with the knowledge to make informed decisions and find the right fit for your household needs. So go ahead once again and give someone a call. Let them know to tune in to Star 106.5 FM dial, channel 976 on cable. And you can also watch us on Facebook on Your Lane Life Coaching Facebook page. I also shared this particular live on Bahamas Housekeeping and Caregivers page on Facebook. And we are also live on the In Faith app that we will talk a little bit about at the end of the show. I'm excited. I'm excited about today's show. And Your Lane, episode 107, Hiring Help, Bahamas Housekeepers and Caregivers, is brought to you by The Perfume Bar, John Shoe Store and Accessories, Your Lane Life Coaching, and Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store. Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store wants to get you ready for back to school. They have ready-made uniforms and uniform fabrics for almost every school in the Bahamas. At Carrie's, you will find skirts, Peter Pan blouses, cotton and regular shirts, jumpers, boys' shorts and long pants, neckties, socks, underwear, and hair accessories. At Carrie's, you will also find a large selection of durable school bags like Adidas, Puma, JanSport, Reeboks, and more. Find exciting character backpacks and lunch bags for the kids. You can even have your uniform skirts custom made. Check out their selection of embroidered cotton shirts only at Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street. Now, tomorrow, I want you to give them the call. There are a few schools that are opening this week, and there are others that are opening next week. And so definitely you have to give them a call, especially for the accessories that you need. Y'all know we like last minute, right? We like last minute. But give them a call just to ensure that you have you don't have to go there in vain. Okay. The number is 3930758. That's 3930758 or 8170758. That's 8170758. I'm excited. We have with us Miss Anique Burrows, Tennille Walker, and Kelly Russell in the studio, and they are just as excited as me All right, don't mind the faces. They are just as excited as me. I had a privilege to speak to each of them in reference to what it is that they do, but I want them to talk about what it is that they do, what are their qualifications, the years of experience, etc., so that you can understand that, hey, I ain't just pick up somebody on the side of the street. These people are more than qualified. These are professional individuals that will come here today and enlighten us with how to hire help. All right, so we're going to start on my left. Yes, don't give me that, girl, but you call me for a face. I need that. All right, let's go. Strong.
Good afternoon. My name is Anik Burrows. I am the founder of Patient Paradise.
Yes.
I've been doing home care nursing I've been doing home care nursing and caregiving from 2021, around the pandemic time. I've been doing I am a patient care technician from 2009. I started off at Doctor's Hospital in ICU.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tennille Walker, and I am the founder of Miss T, the Babysitter, where we take pride in growing minds and caring heart. I have created this business 2 years ago, but I do have experience over 10 years. And also, I am in the school system.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kelly Russell from Mayview, Bahamas. My company was founded by myself in 2022 based on a need that I had finding myself as a single mother. And so we are a placement agency that literally curate the right housekeeper, babysitter, caregiver, nannies, or just a maid for the day to fit whatever your need and your purpose is at that particular time. And of course, we are located in Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza in offices at the Bay, Suite 15. And it's a pleasure to be here.
It's a pleasure having three of you on board with us today. Miss Kelly, we're going to start with you first. Okay. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. And my first question, like everyone, I mean, of course, this question I'm going to ask I'm going to ask each of you. But my question to you, Mrs. Russell or Miss Russell? Miss Russell, what key qualifications or certifications should we look for when hiring a maid service? Do we need certification?
You mean for a maid service, actually?
Maid service.
Well, definitely you would want to know that that maid service has done its due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
The maid service is really there to save you time. Both the agent and both the employer or potential employer save you time and effort by doing all of the due diligence that needs to be done in order to have that person come into your personal space.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for you to feel comfortable that this person qualifies, one, and is trustworthy enough to come into your personal space with you and your family. So, of course, I feel as if when persons are looking for housekeepers, nannies, caregivers, and they opt to use the placement agency, I would suggest that they do their due diligence on that agency.
Mm-hmm. So what is the difference between, what are some of the benefits of hiring an agency versus going directly to just this individual housekeeper?
Okay. So hiring an agency gives you the comfort and the peace of mind that, okay, first of all, you're not freelancing. You're not having someone just randomly come and present their representative to you. And that's what I say when people come for an interview. They're going to tell you all of their best qualities until put to the test.
Right.
And I always tell my clients, I can manage people, but I really can't manage personalities. But one thing that I am good at is I am good at reading through the representative by asking key questions, I would say. And so the advantage of coming to an agency is that you don't have to slot so much time in setting aside time to interview these persons, to call and check that these references are legitimate, to make sure that these persons really and truly bring to the table what they say that they do. And when they come to you, that their standard of service does not drop, because we as the agency act as a policeman to hold them accountable, to make sure that their standard continues. And of course, we look out for the agent as well as the client. And so we make sure that everybody is treated fairly. And so that is the advantage of our agency, of the agency.
So let's say somebody does not want to go through an agency and they decide to just go on Bahamas Housekeeping and Caregiving Facebook account, and they find someone that says, I've been doing housekeeping services for X amount of years, etc. And I think I'm highly qualified, or I've been working, I've seen a lot of these. I've been working in the hotel industry for such amount of years. I've retired now, but I'm willing to work, etc. So how should one vet an individual to ensure that they are the right fit for their home?
Okay, so one, if you're going to do the interviews yourself, you want to make sure that this person is someone who's committed, first of all, and who has a why to get up every morning, who's going to be consistent and reliable. Okay, and based on what it is that you want to be as clear as possible in articulating to that person what it is that you want, so that everybody is on the same page as far as expectation. Allow the person to speak about what it is that they want. Get to know that person to see exactly, get to know the person, the family dynamic, what the situation is at that particular time. Are they in dire need, or are they at the point where, this is just something that I want to do on the side? Do they have children that they care for? What is the why, first of all? Because that determines the fire in the belly as to whether or not they are going to be consistent, they're going to show up, and they're going to care about the job. And that is the first thing that you would want to look for.
I love that.
And then after, okay, what are your qualifications? And you look to see if it really lines up with what it is that you're looking for. Because people say, oh, I've been a cleaner. But what type of cleaner? They're very cleaners, so many different types of cleaners. You have commercial, you have residential, you have the hotel. So depending on what type of cleaner, because all of them are different, because cleaning is an art and it has to be done properly and appropriately. And so once you would have established that, then you're well on your way.
So what about asking for references? Now with me, I usually ask for about 2 to 3 references. What are your thoughts on that, and how should they go about with references? And do they need resumes? Because you have some people.
Well, a lot of times they send resumes and it never speaks to
right
to what it is that we are looking for, But I think what the resumes establishes that, okay, these persons have the aptitude or is intelligent enough to understand or take directives from you,
right?
Be able to articulate themselves and be able to read the instructions on products or whatever it is. And then a lot of times we try to find out, okay, hey, what certifications do you have in order for us to put them in a category? And so when they are interviewing, they would, write down exactly what is it that is important to that or their specific need. And that is the questions that they need to ask for. With references now, you definitely need references. Now, people would usually come and bring references from family members and from persons who know them for years. But you would want to know, who did this person work for? Who was the last person that they worked for? And what was the reason and the conditions of that departure? Okay, because now you want to know, you may be qualified in cleaning, but what personality are you bringing? What was the reason that you're not with the other job? And so when we do our reference check, we hold that person to, hey, you are recommending this person. If anything happens, are you willing to really, really be responsible for this recommendation? And once you ask these key questions, then you'll
Mhm.
have persons, and you could always tell in the tone of the voice, you know, whether or not these references are legitimate or not.
Mhm.
And so I feel
Should there be should the owner or the person responsible for hiring be responsible for a contract? Are contracts necessary?
I think things in writing is a lot better than verbal
Communication.
agreements or a shake hand agreement,
Mhm.
because if anything happens, you can, refer to the black and white,
Mhm.
because that doesn't change.
Mhm.
Once persons would have read and understood and signed that they understood. And so if there is a challenge, you can reference the contract
Okay.
and keep them on. And so if they go off of what the agreement was, you could always refer them back to
Mhm.
the contract.
So what red flags then should homeowners be aware of when interviewing or hiring a housekeeper? Some red flags.
If persons talk about a lot of movement, oh, I was here for 6 months, or I was here for 2 months or 3 months, if there isn't a long tenure,
Mhm.
that is one of the red flags. That this person, maybe it's not really committed,
Mhm.
maybe personality challenges, that is the key red flag.
Right. And when they do decide to hire an individual, what are some of the basic things you think that a homeowner expects? I know communication is important, and you touched on this, having to share what you want them to do. I think that's very important. But what should be the basics that a housekeeper should know how to do, or what to expect?
The question is, you mean for the housekeeper knowing what the employer is expecting from them?
Expecting, that's
Well,
correct.
every employee expects something different. So the employer has to outline and detail exactly what it is
Mhm.
that they want or are expecting from this particular agent, because the agent could just go in and do basic cleaning, and the
Mhm.
place could be cleaned.
Right. So
But
that's my question. What is the basic
so the basic cleaning is,
cleaning?
hey, listen, so we have in residential cleaning, let's talk
Mhm.
about residential cleaning,
Mhm. Mhm.
because that's where the housekeepers come in.
Right.
So we have general cleaning, and then we have deep cleaning, and
Mhm.
then we have specialized cleaning.
Mhm.
And so some persons may perceive general cleaning and be expecting deep cleaning.
Mhm.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. That's what I trying to dig. I trying to pull it out of you. Let's start from what is the basic or general cleaning. What is that?
So the basic
Okay.
general cleaning.
All right. So we're gonna do the basic general cleaning,
Mhm.
and then we go in the break, and then we come back to what the other cleaning consists of.
Okay, so the
Please.
basic general cleaning is the cleaning of the bathrooms,
Mhm.
every aspect of the bathroom. Um, it may not be the baseboards.
Mm.
It may not be the vents.
Mm. 'Cause that's
Okay,
deep.
we're talking about general
Mhm.
cleaning.
Mhm.
And then if you go into the bedrooms, it's general cleaning of the bedroom.
Mhm.
It's not going to go into the closet.
Ooh.
Okay, now if you have things on the bed, they're not going to put that in your drawer, because you don't want them to go into your personal space, and they are going to have questions as to, should I go into their and plus they don't know where you have things
Mhm.
situated. So the general cleaning would be the dusting, the sweeping, the mopping, the disinfecting
Mm.
of the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the kitchen, and then of course the living room and the dining room or wherever else.
Mhm.
Now, they're not going to go into the fridge, and they're not going to go into the cupboard with general cleaning.
Mm.
Okay, because remember now, these persons are coming on, if it's a day's job, it's just 8 hours.
Mhm.
And in order to do detailed cleaning, which our general cleaning falls under, because it's not just surface cleaning,
Mhm.
but you just don't touch on in certain areas that persons are expecting you to do with a general cleaning, because there is a misunderstanding of the difference. So it is vitally important that they should explain to the individuals exactly what their
Yes.
expectations are.
Yeah.
so
I
that
love
they
that.
don't be disappointed.
I learned something today, by the way, because child, I've been, oh Lord, housekeeper, I'm sorry. I actually been doing everything. I'm kidding, but the when I do have housekeepers on board, I would explain exactly what I want and how I want it done. That way, it wouldn't cause any confusion or any no misunderstandings or whatsoever. So I think that's vitally important. So as soon as you hire that individual, what I normally do is I take them through and to each room and I show them where things are and how things are supposed to be. I specifically take that day where I do absolutely nothing but be present, so that whenever, where do I put the dish? At the end of the day, they upload all the dishes and put them up individually. Okay, so where do I put this? And I'm there patiently showing them what to do, so that when I do leave, or days that I may not be available, that they would know what to do. And that's vital. And I hope that we all get that. That's basic. So we're going to talk about the other right after this break. The others right after this break.
Oh, Henry, an iconic.
Thank you. Y'all good? Good. You're doing awesome. Those who join us on today's show, if you have any questions, you can post them on Facebook. You can ask your questions on Facebook. What's the number here? 328-8164. It's the same number. Okay. And if you want to call in, I'll actually announce this on the radio as well, because I forgot to do that. But if you want to call in to ask any of these ladies a question, the number to call is 328-8164. 328-8164. Okay, so questions that you may want to ask, go ahead and ask them. I'll read them off. If you have any, if you want to call in to ask a question, the number is 328-8164. That is amazing. So not everyone is, I mean, I do see on there that people say, I'm hiring someone for a day to do deep cleaning. Think it would take a day to do deep cleaning, or depends?
Well, first of all, deep cleaning is detailed cleaning. And if a general cleaning takes about 8 hours, that means that deep cleaning, and usually the smaller the place is, the
dirtier,
the more time it needs.
Wow.
And so it's vitally important for whether freelancers or whoever is going to do the deep cleaning, do an inspection. And you should know how much time it's going to take to give a thorough deep cleaning. Now, everybody don't know what deep cleaning entails.
Right.
Okay.
That's what we, as soon as this break.
Ask you something with your business. Do you do background check?
Of course.
Of course. Background checks, because you have a lot of people complain, especially no details, but you have a lot of people complain.
Okay.
A lot of people complain about hiring people, and then when they come home, the house is completely wiped up or stuff like that. So,
well, guess what? That's the chance you take.
Yeah, that's
when you freelance. Now, if you want somebody to be held accountable, then you come to the agency. So it's either that you feel as if you
Welcome back. For those who are just joining us, we have with us in studio Kelly Russell, who's talking to us about hiring maid services. We also have Tennille and Anik, but of course we're going to get them at their time in a moment. But I just want to just ask Kelly just a few more questions, because this juicy here. She's saying, when you hire people, either individual maid services or through an agency, you have to let them know what you're expecting. You want the general cleaning, because you got to pay the general cleaning money. You want the deep cleaning, because you got to pay the deep cleaning money, or as another level.
And specialty cleaning.
And specialty cleaning, because I don't even know what specialty cleaning is. She about to tell us that right now. So she told us the general cleaning will be, the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room, etc. But don't expect to be taking something out from your bed and taking it and putting it in the closet and the drawer and stuff like that, because that's a whole new another level. All right, these are just the basic things. Now, the general, does that cover? Because no, it don't cover cleaning in the fridge and the microwave.
No.
Okay.
Well, the microwave, but not in the fridge.
What about the oven?
No, that's deep
Are
cleaning.
you serious?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's talk more about deep cleaning then.
Okay, so the deep cleaning is, some persons would have deep cleaning done every 2 weeks, Sometimes every 2 years.
Mm.
Because sometimes you go to places and they're thinking that, okay, my place is clean, but really and truly, deep cleaning is detailed cleaning, meaning going into the cupboards and taking out all of the spider webs and the dust and reorganizing your cupboards in the kitchen and the junk drawers and all of that stuff. Going into your closets and organizing your closets from the shoes to some persons who probably want color coded, but of course that falls now into the specialty cleaning. Okay, and then some people just have rooms in their homes that they toss everything in and it piles up for years, or they have corners, or some people just do not have the ability to actually organize themselves,
Right.
really.
Right.
And so, with having to organize yourself and not knowing how to organize yourself, things pile up. And so that is where they call in the specialists or housekeepers or maids to come and help them with that. Some people just don't have the ability to do it.
So what would you call specialty cleaning? Let's get specific now.
Well, specialty cleaning would be going into your drawers, going into your closets, going into your garages, or going into that junk room that you may have placed everything in for years, and you need to organize, you need to get rid of, but some people just don't have the wherewithal to do it,
Right.
not the time. And so they just need someone who has that ability, who has that organizing ability, and have that eye that they don't have to make the space more comfortable and make it, you know, I guess,
Ideal.
ideal and user friendly, and and take away all of the junk to give them better energy in the place,
Okay.
And so that would be specialty cleaning.
Just before I wrap up to go on to hiring nursing care, I want to ask, as far as payment is concerned, and this is a big thing, what would you consider the standard price for an 8-hour shift on a typical house that has? See, that's the thing. I mean, do they charge based on the amount of bedrooms, the square footage?
Okay,
how do
I'm
they charge?
happy that you asked that.
Mhm,
Persons always talk about when they hire maids, housekeepers, whatever, that these people walk away with their items, they steal from them, they're unscrupulous, and so forth and so on. But what I want to say at this particular time, speaking for these persons who bring their level of expertise to your home, trading their time for money, just like you do when you go out to work, and you are expecting to be fairly remunerated for your expertise and your time, these persons are expecting the same.
Right.
But what happens a lot is that people just perceive them as the help, not real human beings who are going into the same supermarkets that we're going into and paying VAT the same way that we're doing. And they just feel as if they should water down their level of expertise. Oh, so you ask the question, what is fair?
Right.
The government says that there is a minimum wage, and these are for non-skilled persons. Okay, so we know that we're not going to pay them minimum wage because they're skilled. Whether or not you feel as if they're educated or not, the fact is that they're skilled in something that they do that you cannot do, and you're prepared to trade the money for their time. And so based on what you know, your square footage, how your family lives, and what this person is up against, you use your good discretion with regards to, if it was me, what would I trade my time for to put this family in order?
You think it's fair to even ask them to give you a figure?
You can ask them.
Yeah.
You can ask them, but and I'm encouraging you, because I try to place these persons. Do not start with minimum wage.
Right.
Because if you do, you're setting yourself up for poor service. And they're going to take whatever they cannot afford, because you're paying them minimum wage and you're shortcutting them financially. They're going to take what they cannot afford from you. So if you don't want
I
that,
was wondering where you was going with that initially. I was trying to figure out how that matched, but now I see where you're coming from. And
yeah,
this is the reason why most people's hands are sticky.
exactly.
Because
Don't put
okay, I
them in a
get it.
compromising
I get
position.
it. I get it.
And if you have the mutual
Yeah.
respect,
Yeah.
you treat them fairly,
Right.
they're going to look out for you and they're going to treat you fairly because
Yeah.
they're spending the majority of their time with you. They connect with your family. And if you're good to them, they're going to be good to you.
Mhm.
Okay. You're just going to get what, if you get something bad, it's a mirror image of the way that you're treating the person. As simple as that.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. I see Beats face all over the place. What you want to say?
I just wanted to get so let's say I have a 2-bedroom apartment. Would $600 be a fair compensation? No. Okay. 1,200.
Well, is that a month or a week?
What's that?
This is for once a month.
Once a month?
Yeah.
Depending on what it is. Like I said, you have to.
Who's spending
Okay.
$600?
First, he may be getting a deep clean.
Oh,
No. This is for a general thing.
No, general. No, that's outrageous.
way too much.
That's outrageous. So okay, so you're asking. So the I think the going price daily
Mhm.
is about $106 per day.
Okay.
Okay, for an 8-hour day. So that's the
fair.
going price.
Okay.
Fair.
Okay,
That's
for,
fair.
that is for general cleaning,
Right.
and then deep cleaning, of course, is more. Now remember, stay. What is the name of your show? Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
So don't expect
Your lane.
deep cleaning if you are only prepared to pay for general cleaning. Stay in that lane.
Mm-hmm.
That's good
Okay,
right there.
as simple as that.
That's good. Go ahead.
So I'm, as as a guy, not as a cop out, I'm not familiar with the whole space of home cleaning. But when you mentioned deep cleaning and detailing, what immediately brings to mind is automotive detailing. And I know a lot of automotive detailers, they would run their service where I will charge you my general price, let's say $200 to detail your car, but that is because I have no experience with this car and I don't know what to expect. So it's going to take me more time. But because this is my first time, I'm charging you this price. But now that you're under my care, my price would be lower because I know what to expect. Is that something that would be comparable to housekeeping?
Yeah, because
That's a good question.
yeah, when you come in for the first time, and this is the first time the housekeeper or maid is actually in your home,
Mhm.
they first of all they have to get familiar with the
Yeah.
home,
Mhm.
and then they have to establish exactly what it is that they're up against.
Mhm.
Okay, and what is it that they are what is it that you are expecting from them? Okay, so a lot of times people say, oh, it's only this and it's only that. When you go in there, it's more than only this and only that, because they're trying to water down as far as trying to negotiate a better deal, but
Mhm.
they don't realize that they're doing an injustice to themselves.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because where you think that you're saving money by shortcutting the agent a salary, a good wage,
Mhm. Mhm.
you're gonna get what you paid for.
I like that. And that's exactly what that is. You have some people who take advantage
Mhm.
of the help that they receive. And just as you said, they would say, well, we'll just do this little thing extra for you. Or just do this or whatever have you. That's a problem.
Thus, the purpose of my agency.
Mhm.
Because my agency is one where whoever comes to me is under the umbrella and is guarded against exploitation.
Love it. We will discuss that because I want to know more about the agency a little after. All right. We just want to go ahead.
With your company, do you do consultations before taking on a job? You go to the house, assess, and see what's really happening before sending out any of your staff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's important.
And you know what? We do
Yeah.
discovery calls, we do inspections, and of course, everything is so modern now. You don't have to physically go out and do the inspection. You could do it over
Sometimes these people
WhatsApp,
don't show you what you
WhatsApp video.
what you need to
But
see.
guess what? And that's where you take control. And you say, okay,
wow.
because a lot of times they try to speed over. No.
Mhm.
We're
Let
gonna
me see, go
let's
back.
go to this section, go up, go to the
See
left, go
everything.
to the right, and of course, that is where you have your list, and you
Tick
let them
off.
customize what it is
Mhm.
that they want.
Okay.
I love it. All right. So, ladies, we're going to go into hiring nursing care, all right, at home for the sick and elderly. And we
Yes.
have with us Anique Burrows, who she shared that she's been doing this since what 3 years now?
Yeah.
3 years she's been doing this. And
Mhm.
so Anique, I know you had a lot of questions for Kelly, but we have a lot of questions for you.
Go ahead,
All right.
girl.
One of the questions is what credentials, as I've asked earlier, and experience should be prioritized when hiring a home nurse or caregiver?
Okay, so the difference is with um home nursing, and the nurses has to be certified.
Right.
So you have different levels of nursing. You have
Mhm.
patient care technicians with our nursing assistants.
Mhm.
You have trained clinical nurses, and then you have registered nurses.
Mhm.
Now, with that being said, once most nursing jobs are recommended by physicians.
Right.
So once a physician has recommended a nursing company or nurses to deal with a
Mhm.
patient, they would already know that these people are
Qualified.
qualified.
Mhm.
Also experience as well.
Mhm.
So another thing is you have a lot of cases that come on and you'll be like, okay, do I need a patient care technician?
Mhm.
Do I need a trained clinical nurse? Do I need a RN? So in that case, like I say, physicians recommend what is needed and then you
Mhm.
go from there to understand.
Okay. Thank you. So you obviously, like you stated, you most caregivers are recommended
Yeah.
um
It
by
like
a
I
physician.
say it's by a physician,
Physician. Mhm.
but if it's just a patient, let's just say it's a person that has dementia.
Right. I
Most of
was
the
about to
time, the
ask that
family
question.
are just looking for a caregiver.
You're right.
And some people get it confused between a caregiver, a caretaker, and a maid.
Let's go. That's what you're here for. Let's go.
Okay,
Let's
so
go.
when you come and you're looking for someone to care for your loved one,
Yes.
an elderly patient, you can't want them to clean the house, wash the dishes, wash the clothes. Don't let mommy fall, and still take care of mommy
At the same
at the
time.
same time.
Mhm.
And people tend to get that really
Mhm.
confused,
Mhm.
And then when mommy get a bad sore because she been sitting on her hip all day,
Mhm.
they can blame the caretaker because the caretaker outside hanging out the clothes online, which you supposed to be.
That's a problem right there.
All right.
So no, tell us the difference then between you said a care, not the maid, because we know they're not supposed to be. You want them to focus primarily on the thing of
Particularly
the
in
patient.
most households, they get that confused. They
Okay.
will call my friend over here and say, "Hey, I need a maid." And when the maid come there, they got 90-year-old Grammy in the room, need to be watched whilst they cleaning.
So
And
what's the difference between a nurse then and a caregiver?
okay, with nurse,
Nursing care and
nursing
caregiving.
care and caregiver. Caregivers basically take care persons that like dementia.
Right.
They take care of persons that are not basically bedridden or to precise be sick.
Mm-hmm.
They take care of. With nursing care, the person don't necessarily have to be bedridden as
Mm-hmm.
well,
Mm-hmm.
but the person need medical attention.
Okay.
So if some persons might be hypertensive, they might have epilepsy.
Mm-hmm.
Dementia could fall under it too as well.
Mm-hmm.
They have a whole lot going on with them.
Mm-hmm.
You have persons that are bedridden, just came out of the hospital from surgery or had a stroke or different illnesses going on. These are the things that you differentiate to know that, hey, this person doesn't need a caretaker, this person needs a nurse,
Right.
Because that's someone's life that is in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't, you can't just play around with that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to make sure that that person is really qualified to take on what they're dealing with. You can't just say, okay, Susie Q, she's a maid, but she used to take care of Johnny down the road when he was 80, so she could take care of mommy now. And then mommy had a stroke. So mommy getting feed through a feeding tube. You'll come and meet the person, the maid feeding mommy through the feeding tube. Like, yo, suppose she aspirate, then what you're gonna do? seeing that you're not qualified to
Right.
take care of mommy like that.
So definitely. So what you're saying, and I love the fact that you're emphasizing the fact that you have to ensure that the caretaker or the nurse is qualified. Well, if
Qualified,
it's a
yes.
nurse, then obviously, hopefully, because people have slipped through the cracks.
Okay.
Hopefully, the nurse is
Make sure you're
qualified.
qualified.
Okay. So
You
how
know?
how do families ensure that caretaker or that nurse is the fit or the right fit for
You
their
know,
loved ones?
a lot of people freelance, like we were talking earlier.
Mhm.
A lot of people freelance for their loved ones,
Mhm.
caretakers or their nurses or whoever they go. Susie, you say this one, just the person here,
Yeah.
or or if a hair say she say whatever. Fine. But I feel as if when you're looking for someone to, it doesn't even matter the nature of the case.
Right.
When you're looking for someone to care for your loved one, you got to make sure that person, number one, not only qualified, that person is honest, that person is reliable, and they are compassionate.
That's it right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people that takes on the role, especially with dementia patients. They take on this role with dementia patients, and when they take on this role, you have to have patience and faith like Job sometimes
Yes.
dealing with those type of patients. So
Yeah.
you can't just say, okay, I could take on this role, and you get agitated or angry real quick. They do things to you that make you upset, and you cannot react because you can't take out your stress on that person. That person doesn't really understand what they're doing.
Anik, I saw a video, and this, even thinking about it, touched my heart. Someone had a nanny cam in their
And
house, and they completely, when I said they abused that grandmother, they abused that grandmother so bad and slapped the person. I don't mean to say it like that on air, but this is factual, and these are sometimes the things that happen. And this is a caregiver, in the home that these families entrusted in their care, in the care of for their loved one, and they just bring in these people in, and like, how people act. They act nice in your face, and then afterwards, they act the fool. So one of my questions, because there are so many in this for you, but this main one is: do you think that people should place nanny cams around the home?
We do have families that does that, and they get to see exactly what's going on. Also, you could tell based on a personality from you meet them how it's gonna be, like a spirit of discernment.
Well, clearly that family didn't have it.
But they had a nanny cam, so they had that
They had
spirit of
something.
discernment.
They had something.
So they had to be thinking something,
suspicious.
So
yeah.
In that case, you got to be really careful who you hire to care for your loved ones. You got to really put the fine print in that, even though it might make you look a little cruel and crucial, like you have no trust in people. But I'd rather be safe than sorry.
So let's say we're hiring somebody, we're hiring the nurse or we're hiring the caregiver to our home. What are some of the questions that can help us identify if this person is fit or not? Like, if they have
Number
the
one
dignity
question,
and
one of the questions I find most times when getting people to work along with patients and stuff, how do you work under pressure? Because something can happen. Let's just say a code, the patient just start coding you feeding John, and John just start coding. You could sit there and just freak out, or you're gonna know what to do. How well do you work under pressure? These type of things. Give them scenarios, ask them questions if this was to happen. But when coming to a family, and the first thing a family should notice when hiring a caretaker, the caretaker first question should be to you: in case of an emergency, what should I do? Like, who should I call first? And we have a lot of dysfunctional families on care, baby. So these questions they should ask. In case of emergency, what should I do? Who should I call first? And these are the things you should look out for. The concern is what you should look out for. Like, this person seemed to be a bit concerned because she asking me too much questions, and that's a good thing. So concern is the number one thing you should look out for when hiring a caretaker.
Do you think that the elderly person or the sick person should be a part of that interview during that time?
As long as they're coherent and they have the right to make their own decision,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Once they're over the age of 18 and has the right to make their own decision, yes.
Okay. I am going to stop there because we want to maybe we're allocating time for each person. I'm going to go. I think your answers were explicit, and we want to continue because I want to ask more about your particular company. At just almost to the end of the show, but we want to talk about hiring babysitting services. I don't know if you want to take a quick break first. Oh, you want to? Yeah. So let's take a quick break, and then after the break, we're gonna go into babysitting services. Yeah. All right. It's important now. There's one hole in there and there in my heart because I can ask you about 100 questions now.
no.
Just
You have
letting you know.
babies, eh?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. Let's take a break. Ladies, you're just wonderful. I mean, look at man. I'm so proud.
I tell you, you're representing.
Not to every question I ask, you know the answer. I promise. And when I ask these questions, consider me as your client because I'll be calling on you anyway. Oh, oh. So you better know these answers.
Me, I'll be there.
Go ahead.
You were saying
Turn the thing down.
for, let's say if I wanted to engage with a housekeeper
Mhm.
to come in twice a month, that price would be under $200.
If you're just having twice per month, that means that you're having a deep cleaning each time they come. So they're not just doing general cleaning. General cleaning is the average. And I'm not saying that, I'm telling you that's where it starts at $106 per day. Okay, that's where it starts. Okay,
No, I don't do
exactly.
I have a
And
question.
but it depends on the space. So
I do 100.
that's like
Sorry.
Oh no!
any space 2,000 square feet and below.
I have a tiny apartment.
You
I have
are
a
not
tiny
gonna
apartment that I share with two toddlers and myself and my wife.
And that's why and guess
You
what?
better not
That is
say
why
that
they
out
charge you like that.
Listen, I have to know that price is, it's actually shocking. I really was expecting it to be more because really, I mean, I have so much respect for your line of work
Hmm.
because it's
Mhm.
when you're, especially when you're like a part of the orange economy. Like for me, my wife is a nurse, right? And I work at a radio station, but I'm also a DJ, do freelance work. So on average, I'm not getting home until 9:30, 10 o'clock. And then on the weekends, that doubles where I'm doing a back-to-back shift where I'm getting home 2 a.m. That's every day. So the time to like clean and stuff, it's just not there. When I do spend that time, that means my time is either spent working or cleaning. There is no family time. So to get that back, and the only sacrifice I'm having to make is $400 a month.
Yeah, well,
$500 a month.
Yeah.
That sounds like a blessing.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like I said, it starts at that because if you have like one bedroom and a kitchen and it's just you, then it may be $120 a day. It may be $120 for the 8 hours. Okay. When I say $106, we're talking about for the 40 hours.
So we're coming back.
Welcome back, y'all. We having a blast here. We Beats asking all the questions, right? Beats need a housekeeper, y'all. All right. So that's thank God we have Anna. Ooh, child, y'all getting customers today. All right. Thank God we have these beautiful ladies here in studio so that we can get Beats on board on their clientele list. Okay. All right. So now speaking of babysitting services, we have with us Mrs. Tennille Walker. Tennille.
Miss T.
Miss T.
Hi.
Oh, that's the name of the business?
Miss T.
Miss T.
Everybody knows Miss T.
Everybody knows Miss T. What essential, this is the question I asked your other colleagues. What essential qualifications or experience should parents look for in a babysitter?
First of all, you have to be passionate about kids. You have to be passionate. If you're not passionate, that's an automatic fail. CPR, you're in there. Because if something was to happen and that child needs CPR, you need to be able to provide that.
Yes.
But I would automatically say you have to have love for kids. If you don't have the love for the kids, that's not the right field for you.
So the love and
to have love for
CPR
kids.
got to be more than that, because if I hiring you,
It
you got to
is
be more.
more.
Come tell me,
It is
tell
more.
me this. You
Okay.
get your level of questions little different than the other two.
Make me nervous.
No, I'm just
Um,
playing with you. Go ahead.
But yes, also you have to have experience. And like she was saying, when it comes to reference, because you could tell me you worked in the education field, but like she said, what if you're from one business
Come on.
short term?
Mm,
Why did you leave?
that's important.
Why did you leave? What's the purpose? What's the background of it? So if the person doesn't have much education, they can't answer most of your question. They're not experienced. They have no love for kids. That's just a no.
Red flag.
You
Yeah,
have to have trust.
that's important.
You have to be honest, reliable. You have to be.
I love that. I love that. And how can parents verify then a babysitter's background and ensure that they are trustworthy?
That's true. Usually some people would ask for reference.
Mhm.
Some people would go ahead and do their own background check to see, okay, I actually had people that recommended me
Mhm.
without me knowing. Are you sure this person is trustworthy? I have never had any experience with this person, with a babysitter ever. How was this person? Was anything missing? Because some
Mhm.
people go ahead too. How do I know this person is trustworthy?
Mhm. I was making sure the mic, because I see you looking
Oh.
at my.
Oh yeah. I
Good.
put
We
it right
good.
here
We
so I
good.
I
Okay.
can look
Good.
at
Yeah.
you too.
All right. So we look at vetting, where we get recommendations, referrals, etc. We get you
Mhm.
ask for do you think that we should ask for resumes? Is that necessary?
You could, but you still have to do your background check.
How do you
With
feel?
one of the parents, let's just say for an example,
Yeah.
that I started with, I would have sent my resume. They would have done their own background check, but they wanted me to come in. They also had a nanny cam.
Mm.
They watched me very well.
Mm-hmm.
They left me after a while, after me having a conversation with them, getting to know the child. I also have a form that I have set up on my phone that I have to send to you before anything, because I need to know more about the child. I need to know the child routine.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know if it's anything, any allergies, if they're allergic to anything. I need to know, what about TV? They might not have any screen time.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know, what is it? I need to know every single thing about that child.
I love that. And so this is what you're saying, what people should, for those who want to be hired and for those who wish to hire someone, that you should want to know about the child. That's important, because that's
Ask
one of
questions.
the questions. So let's get more specific now. What specific questions should parents ask to understand how a babysitter handles, for instance, discipline or emergencies? What type of questions should be asked in reference to, now you got some baby kids. I don't know if you ever watched baby kids growing up. Yeah. All right, you got some spoiled ones. You ain't my mommy. All right, so Miss T, I go like this, because I know she didn't handle it all, right? But you do have some baby kids out there. How do you deal, or how should one, because we're going to go specific to your business later, but how should a babysitter, a qualified professional babysitter, deal with discipline?
First of all, you have to find out from the parent, how do they discipline their child, because some parents do not discipline their child. For me, I'm never hands-on. You're gonna go on timeout, or I'm gonna take something that you really love, and you have to sit it out. And then, as you reflect, because when you're in timeout, you have to reflect now. What did I do wrong? Are you sorry? Did you mean on doing it? Because some of them would say it was on accident. I'm sorry, I did not mean it. Or, yes, I know that I was doing it. I know that it was wrong, but some of these kids are very educated,
Very much. So I remember you saying that there were a few parents that observed you prior to hiring, or perhaps, as a trial. What should parents observe then during this period the trial of babysitting session to ensure that child is in good hands?
The way that you interact with the child.
Let's go.
The way that you interact with the child says it all.
Mm-hmm.
The way that you care for that child says it all.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can say, okay, I come in, okay, bye, I gotta go. That child, you just might be like, okay. That child could roam around, do whatever they want on their phone. How do I know that I actually trust you? How do I know that Sarah wasn't trying to climb up those steps, buck her head and fall? What are you gonna do? You have to monitor these kids at all times.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so there's a question here that says, what about autistic kids or other special needs kids? How do you deal with, or how should a babysitter deal with those things? First of all, we need to find out the babysitter desires to babysit or to take care of the children, because you may have some that may not, as Anik said, you have some people who just don't have the patience for it. That ain't my field, miss. That's okay. I don't do the special needs children. I love your money, I need the money, but I rather go elsewhere. You have some people like that. And
I
so
do.
so let's
I do.
Mhm.
Actually, I do assist kids on the spectrum.
Mhm.
It could be hard. And like she would have said, you need patience.
Mhm.
You need patience because sometimes something that you might be doing might cause that child to have a behavior.
Mhm.
So it could be whether from loud noise, it could be something that you might have actually did, or that child stemmed from something and now they're having, let me see how to put it. They're stemming from something that they probably would have saw earlier or off a TV show.
Right.
So you have to actually be strong now. You have some that are just nonverbal and they're mild with behaviors. You have some kids that are high functioning and they don't have any behaviors. You have all in one. And now for me, like I say, the way I discipline, that child could be very aggressive as well. But you have to be patient. Patience is key when you're dealing with kids on the spectrum.
So how do you think parents should communicate their expectations to a babysitter? Like, what
First
are
of all, parents, you need to accept
Mhm.
that your child might be on the spectrum, first of all, because a lot of people don't accept. They are in denial that their child might be on the spectrum. They might be like, oh, you're just rude. That child is not rude. Some of these kids are naturally rude, and then you have some of these kids that are on the spectrum.
Mhm.
So, first of all, look at the little things that Johnny might be doing, lining up those cars, looking at the wheel, mimicking a show that he or she watched 5 days ago. Stuff like that, first of all. Johnny might come hit you up, might be a little abusive, screaming, shouting, run away. However, don't be in denial.
What about
Most people
those
are
who
in
are not
denial.
on the spectrum? Just typical communication. How should parents communicate to their
Be honest and
babysitters?
open.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to be honest and open for whatever it is. Just be honest and open and say, hey, now Johnny might ask you for this, but Johnny is not supposed to get this anymore. Johnny might run circles around you, but do not give
Mhm.
Johnny this. Let me know if there's a problem. You can call me. Fine.
What
But
usually happens during times, when people hire babysitters, right? And you play with them, you give them baths or whatever have you. What is a typical night? Like, for instance, parents go on date nights. What are some typical things that babies, I know everyone's different, but most babysitters do during that time frame, let's say from 6 p.m. to about 12 midnight? What is that typical? Now, I know, like I said, everyone's different. The typical babysitting date
so
night evening.
the kids that I've came across that I babysit usually is on a routine.
Mhm.
So by 7:30, 8 o'clock max. Most of the kids that I babysit is out.
Mhm.
They're asleep. So let's just say, for instance, I would be there from about 5 o'clock.
Mhm.
One of my clients, just as an example, I might have to give him dinner. I might have to give him, read him a bedtime story. Make sure he uses the bathroom. Make sure that he brushes his teeth. That's why you have to realize. I mean, you have to ask if they're on a routine,
Right.
because some kids are on a serious routine, and if you break that routine, the next day probably or that night, you're probably gonna get it. They're gonna be tired, or they're gonna act out. But for the most part, like I say, the kids that I would have deal with or do currently assist, they're in bed by 8 o'clock. So sometimes once they're in bed, I just any little toys in the way or something, I'll just clean it up or whatever, because I do actually do that. And sometimes the parents appreciate it, especially when you're dealing with, let's just say, example, he was talking earlier, he's always on the go. So now that leaves a bit of a strain on mom. So that could help mom out a lot to say, okay, Miss T actually came here. She probably washed the 1-2 cups that was in the sink. She moved the toys out of the way. She fixed the chairs. Okay, I don't have to wake up so early in the morning. Simple as that. It could be the littlest things actually counts. So if the kids are in bed early and I have some time just to do a little picking up the toys, organizing where probably the books are in that little area that they may be playing in, fixing the chairs, washing a little 1-2 stuff, just straightening up just to be a little bit more of a help, especially that I'm going to be idle.
So let's talk about the typical date night evening, for instance. You come from 5. What happens between that time? I know the bed routine, like that's the bed routine. You say they go to bed by 8. So between 5 and let's say 7, are there like interactions with playtime or anything to that extent?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So
or going for homework. Little walks. I love to go for little nature walks and out.
Yeah,
I love to go for little walks. Sometimes I'm like, okay, put on your shoes. We're going on the bike, and put on your hat, sunglasses, sunscreen. We're going.
I love that.
Yeah, let's do something. So because all the time, sometimes kids are just always stuck in the house.
Yes.
You want to go outside? We could go for a walk. I love nature walks.
I love that. And that's just like you said, everyone's different. So I love the fact that you do that. So they're not just stuck in the home. You take them out or whatever. You get them going.
I have a specific child. He knows every time I'm coming there, I'm gonna take him in the stroller.
So he gets ready.
I'm gonna pull out the stroller and he's ready to go.
I love it. I have a question here. It says, do babysitters offer sleepover or extended care?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Some babysitters do and some babysitters don't.
I saw a post, this was last week or so, where someone said that I'm looking for someone to travel with me. Like I'm looking for a nanny to travel along with me. Child, I could stop my job right now to go try and be the nanny so I can travel. Okay.
And actually, one of my parents actually did ask me. And I was like, it was like next summer, because I know you're always ready.
Right.
Next year we might need you in the summer. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have kids of your own? No? That's why you can do it.
I can't do that.
I can hire you to watch them while I go on my trip.
Yeah, we will be. It could be. You might need to go have a little break job. Me and those kids will be somewhere playing.
I love that.
I feel like me babysitting just bring out the inner child in me.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so it's just like fun. Yeah.
So now, ladies, I want to talk, just before we talk about your business, I want y'all to tell me some things that I may not have asked, right? So we're going to go back to Kelly here. So Kelly, there are lots of nuggets that I know that people want to know about hiring maid services, right? Either individual or an agency, but there might be something that I did not touch on, right? Can you just let us know if it's anything that I didn't touch on, some more nuggets and things that people may need to know in reference to hiring maid services?
Make sure that their level of cleaning is for residential cleaning, first of all. Make sure that they're familiar with the products that they need to use on different surfaces. Make sure that they can read. It's imperative that they're able to read, okay?
Wow.
Because if they can't read, then, they may pick up anything and put on your surfaces.
Yes.
And it may endanger them, yourself, and the family. And
Mhm.
so
And I also see where we have some people on this on Bahamas housekeeping and housekeepers and caregivers who don't even live here. All right. And they literally say, I want to help or I'm interested. I don't know if y'all noticed that. I would be like, you don't I don't say nothing because
Yeah.
because you may have some people here who say that they would go and bring them over. So I don't discriminate.
That's true.
But how do we deal with having to get do you know the qualifications and the different specifics with retrieving a green card and the work permit and all those other stuff? Do you know the procedures for that?
yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on which part of the world that you're actually getting them from.
Most people ask for Philippines. I know that for
They
a
do.
fact. Yes.
They love Filipino
Mhm.
workers.
I realized something though. What I did realize is when they bring them over and they are living in with them, they don't have to pay them as much.
I just don't think it's fair to Bahamians, not paying buyers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk.
I would rather give my own people the opportunity to, get a job out there. It's done rough for us out here as we speak. So, yeah, going out there to go and get no hatred, please don't quote me wrong.
Yeah.
But going out there to go and get someone where you have a Bahamian just as qualified. You have a Bahamian just as qualified to do the job. Why would I hire someone as an agency
Right.
to do the job when I can get a Bahamian to do?
Okay, so would you like for me to answer that question?
You can rebuttal. I mean,
Not a rebuttal. I'm just talking about my experience.
Yeah.
Okay. Of course, I'm a placement agency.
Mhm.
I have individuals on a waiting list waiting for employees.
Mhm.
My whole purpose of starting this agency was to employ Bahamians.
Yes.
Okay. But unfortunately,
Come on, tell the truth.
my good people,
Come on.
for whatever reason, feel entitled.
That's it. I didn't want to say it.
Okay.
Not all. Nah, let me
Okay.
rephrase that. No,
And-
hold on. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, Miss Kelly. Let me just say, because at the end of the day, not all of them are like that. But I have hired some that were, but I can't specifically say Bahamians because there's another
Group of people.
right, and I'm not gonna say
Feel
that
entitled.
exactly. So it
Yes.
really doesn't. You can't say the actual. You can't say that it's that country or the citizenship or the mentality of that individual. But there are some people who are like that. Okay, not all.
Well, I have very good Bahamian agents. Okay, I have very good Bahamian agents, but they are so far and few and in between.
That's it.
And the demand is greater than the supply. And so, if the demand is greater than the supply, what are we to do?
My God.
Would you suggest, right? Still on my Bahamian people side, but would you suggest doing a training course?
I do that for free.
Oh wow!
That's wonderful.
You need to let the
I
Bahamian
train my
people
agents
know.
for free. Okay?
Okay.
I give them support for free. I negotiate whatever it is that they want as far as a wage is concerned. I negotiate that for them.
Good.
Okay? And they have our support when they're out in the field
Yeah.
because they come under the protection of our umbrella where we don't allow them to be exploited and we don't allow them not to meet up to the standard of the premium dollar
Right.
that the employer is paying.
Okay, but one more thing. With that being said, do you think because they bring that other party over and they get them at a reasonable rate, do you think because that party lives in with them and they get them at a reasonable rate, they feel as if the Bahamian should make that same rate?
You know what? People exchange money for time.
Mm-hmm.
They expect a certain, whether you go into any job, there are ethical practices and
Yes.
ethical expectations
Mm-hmm.
based on what it is that they're trading their money for.
Mhm.
Okay. So you may say that it's cheap. It's not cheap to bring in a foreigner because one, they're fully responsible for that person as far as insurances, as far as airfare,
permit.
work permits that's
Mhm.
in the 2000s sometimes, maybe more.
But how much do they get paid weekly after that?
And guess what? These persons are being paid premium dollar.
Mm.
Okay, more so than, so you're under the perception
Mhm.
that because they're coming from a foreign country and they're subservient and so forth and so on, that maybe these persons are exploiting them for cheap labor.
That's
cost.
how it
That,
looks.
no, it's not.
No, that's more
From
to that.
outside looking in now, I'm saying.
Yeah,
Hold
no.
on, hold on. Let's
Well,
go.
I'm here to tell you that is not how it is.
That's why we have the professionals here, right?
And
Alright.
let me and stick a pin.
Right.
When they are living in, that means that they are working almost 24/7.
Yes.
Because as long as they are there,
Yes,
they are
sir.
expected to work.
Yeah.
So, so the compensation has to equate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times what I've seen when the Filipinos come in as nannies and caregivers,
Yeah.
once that contract is over, they want to get out of that because a lot of them come qualified. They have degrees. They may
Mhm.
be pharmacists. They may
Oh,
be
maybe they
nurses.
be nurses and
and-
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so once you see
Radiologists.
their permit has expired with a particular individual,
Mhm.
a lot of times they try to get out of that and they say, I don't want to be a maid or a housekeeper anymore. I can be a caregiver. I can be, a nurse's
Mhm.
yeah. So
Assistant.
they try to escape that. They only
Yeah.
use that as the
Entry
way
level,
out. Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Beats.
I had to agree with Miss Kelly. Like I don't see financially wise
Mhm.
how bringing someone in
It's
It's
cheaper.
cheaper.
to pay for
It's not.
the correct documents for them to come here.
But that's
or-
just how we look at it from the outside looking
Yeah,
in.
But the permit alone is
You
expensive.
might pay them versus, let's say you're paying a Bahamian, I would say $300 a day,
Mhm.
and you're paying the expat $150 a day,
Mhm.
which is half. You still have to pay for this person's housing and all the other things that come along with it.
Yeah.
That overrides the cost. So the people that are doing that, you in a position where you're only doing it if you have an extra room in your house.
Mhm.
But the other reason why I would go for a foreign work over Bahamian work is I don't want no document business.
No, but no. Hold on. See, he mumbled that, but I have to say it out loud so that the people can hear it. Pete said one of the reasons why he refuses to hire a Bahamian helper, right? Why he would not, or would rather get a foreigner. I don't want to misquote you. Why he would rather get a foreigner is because he doesn't want the Bahamian to know his business. And you could understand that because Beats is out there. He's doing things. He's a DJ. People know him, etc. And you have a lot of people like that as well. And I can honestly say, and another thing, and I'm not bringing down my Bahamian people at all, but I also want to say, yeah, they get in your business and they ask more questions. And that's for me who've hired all. I believe I probably hired every single
But that
God.
no,
And
but
then they
that being
asking
said,
questions
one
like,
more
no,
question
you ain't
from
supposed to
my
be asking me
friend.
that question. No.
Well,
Go ahead.
that's where you come in. And sometimes some people would say, hey, confidentiality.
Mhm.
You
That
gotta sign off
for
waiver.
Bahamians?
Well, guess what? With my agents, when they come in for training,
You say
the
that.
first thing that they're trained on is
You say
ethical
that.
practices.
That's a
Yeah.
waiver
Ethical
you sign.
practices. See, a lot of people are ignorant of the fact
Mhm.
because they have not been taught. So you cannot expect something out of a person that's never been placed in a
Right.
person.
Right.
And so anytime you get an
That's
agent
beautiful.
from Mayview, Bahamas,
Mhm.
you can rest assured that the first thing that they've been taught is ethical practices.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that is, don't act familiar. These persons are not looking for a friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you show up professionally, you be reliable, you only ask what is priority. If you knew her from church years ago, if that's your cousin, your sister, your auntie, you show up just like the electrician and the
That's it.
plumber to do your job on the hours and don't become familiar.
That's it.
And what is vitally important is
Mhm.
someone is always watching.
Yes.
So even though you may think that you're in that house by yourself, trust me, somebody's at their table scrolling and looking in
Yeah.
whatever camera, and they're watching to see what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay. And so my thing, getting back to the point as to why persons, prefer to bring in foreigners is because when people or professionals are out there and you have to be at work at a certain time,
Mhm.
sometimes extended periods of time,
Mhm.
and you're starting a family, so you may have some physicians, you may have persons who are working shifts or whatever. They need reliable help.
Yes.
And they don't need somebody at the last minute because they decided to stay up late the night before
tired.
and
They can't come.
Netflix and chill. Decide to say, oh, you know, Miss Russell, I can't make it today. And so guess what? So so they prefer to spend that premium dollar for consistency,
Yeah.
reliability,
Yes.
and subservience to a certain extent.
Yeah.
That you don't feel as if you are so proud that you cannot take directives. Okay, when we as professionals go on our job, we have to take directives in order for us to fulfill whatever the job requirement is, and in order for them to trade their money for our time.
Yes.
And it's the same with regards to the agent or the housekeeper, whatever you want to call them. So you have to have persons who know that, okay, this is a subservient job. This is a job that requires a lot of energy.
Yes.
So you can't be out of shape and decide that, hey, listen, I'm going to go and do this, because then you're going to shortcut. And when you shortcut, the people are going to feel shortcutted, and they're going to shortcut it your pay and shortcut it
That's it
everything.
right there. Now let's
I have to go in the vernacular there.
listen. I have so much questions for you. You don't understand. Listen, let me just say this real quick, because I want to make sure we get each of you to talk, because there are some questions. The same question I asked. Is there anything that you want to share that I may not have covered that you want the audience to know? Right. So y'all can think about that. Let me just tell. Ms. Kelly Gatsby, she and I spoke about this earlier. I've heard the stories. Okay, I've heard the stories where people have hired help, and should I go raw on this, or should I be professional in the way I speak? And they teeth the people, man. Okay, you know what I mean? I've heard the stories. I have a neighbor. You know, they come there, they hire this people. So I don't even know what to ask or how to ask it or what to say.
First of all, let me ask the
Because-
question: what made?
I always think it's the man.
No. What made you think that they stole the people's man?
Exactly.
Why isn't it that the man decided to steal them?
Mine, I only saying
And to come out of his lane. Let's stay in the lane. Let him stay in his lane.
maybe he was
Okay.
out of his, maybe he was out of his lane. I'm just saying. I
always have to be the woman that is
Yeah, but like why is
why
it?
couldn't have been a male there working and the woman?
It's always the man. Right. You ready to tell your story?
I ready to tell a story.
Go ahead, please.
Story
That-
time.
Long
Story time.
Story time.
Uh-huh.
Story time. So, long story short,
Yes.
a child that I babysit for.
Yes.
I don't know if this was the mom, sweetie, whatever it was,
Mhm.
wasn't a child father. But why did the man call and message me after 4 in the morning?
Not 4 in the morning.
4 in the morning.
Uh-huh.
And you complaining about your sweetie, sugar baby, whatever it is. Block.
Ain't no reason why you should be calling my cell phone for something.
You don't know me.
You
You don't know me.
and you didn't hire me.
You did not hire me.
Oh.
But apparently he was supposed to pay me, and that wasn't her to do.
Oh.
I got my money that night, sweet.
Yeah.
So it leads us to the point that maybe these persons are in compromising positions, because just like what she said, he was the person to pay her.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe with these housekeepers, caregivers, they come from very compromising positions.
Yes.
And a lot of times they have family members home depending on them.
Yes.
And so a lot of times they're placed in positions
Yep.
where they have to decide
Separate.
whether or not I am going to survive here
Or separate yourself.
or go back to the hardship when there are so many persons dependent upon me.
Come on.
Am I going to make the sacrifice? Am I going to take one for the team? And so their intentions may not be to go there to steal.
I like how
the
she
woman.
said it so so professionally. Oh, you just have to take one for the team. You know what I mean? It is what it is. The kids got to eat
Yeah.
tomorrow.
So,
You know?
so a lot of times they're put in
You know,
they're put
Pampas
in
got to
precarious
get
positions
bought.
and they have no one to protect them.
Yes.
Okay, and so when you are dealing with persons or individuals like that, who people are depending upon them
Yeah.
in these hardship countries,
Positions.
a lot of times they just sap it up. It's not that, hey, listen, I want to take your man.
Right.
Just like what she said, at 4 a.m. this man calls her to be a listening ear.
What do you
And
do?
so listen.
You sit right there after
Guess
questions.
what?
You
So
taking up your time.
the only time,
Oh, block.
guess what? If a man or a woman has sex with a man and they don't converse and he does not get emotionally involved with that person, it's okay. When you have a problem is when that woman is having a listening ear and that woman is providing for him what you are too busy to do. They lean more towards the housekeeper and the caregiver who cooks for them, who cleans for them,
Doesn't know. Doesn't
who,
know the show.
who listens to the man.
Pays
He
attention.
was hoping that she was
The
the
wife
one.
would do it.
At 4 a.m. I'm going back to the babysitter. He felt comfortable enough to call you at 4 a.m. because he wanted to emotionally bond with you. And through
All right,
conversation.
Let's cut that one right there because we that's a whole
So don't blame the housekeeper. That's my point.
Or the babysitter.
Or the babysitter. Or the nurse.
Blame
All right,
the man.
real quick.
Yeah, it's not.
Real quick,
It's not,
Anik.
it's
Oh,
not
sorry,
the
go
woman
ahead.
9 times out of 10.
It don't be the woman.
It's not.
All right.
They're not trying to come on to your man. Your man is trying to come on to us.
Oh, okay.
And the woman
Check
always
your man.
takes the blame.
Check the
They
man.
always say, "Why you just couldn't keep your man?" And the woman is blamed like
Hold on. Hi, listen, I hope y'all see what time it is. It's 7:29. We ain't asked y'all to talk yet about what it is supposed to be. But I want to get back onto this. So when we get off radio, we can start talking about the man situation. We ain't want to talk about that. I want to get y'all out the way to make sure people know who y'all are and stuff like that. So, Anik, let's go to you. Is there anything that I may not have covered that you want your listening audience to know? And then I want you to talk to us about your business.
Okay, no, there's nothing much that you didn't touch on and touch bases with. My business,
Yes,
Patient
please.
Paradise, 242.
Hi.
Okay. We've been around from, like I said, 2-3 years ago. I've been a patient care technician from 2009. I'm very, very well connected in the healthcare field.
Yes.
Anything pertaining to healthcare that I can assist with, I am able to assist. It doesn't have to be for a course. You can reach out to me. Anything that I can help with, I will help. We do 24-hour care. We do wound care. We do transportation to and from doctor offices. We do a whole wide range of things. Those that are coming from the islands and having baby, we assist with you in that care too as well. So just give us a call or hit me up on Facebook at Patient Paradise 242, or you can call me at 803-8181. Thank you.
803-8181. Patients Paradise. I love it. 24-hour nursing, home visits, post-op care, night care, tubal feedings, bed baths, doctor visits, wound checks, mobile pharmacy pickups, RN available upon request. Registered nurse available upon request. I want you guys to get that number. 803-8181 if you need a patient care provider. Anik is here, and I know that you've seen her bubbly personality. You've already seen, how she comes with so much expertise. She has the knowledge, she has the skills, and she seems very compassionate, and she knows what to do and what not to do. So of course, one of the questions is I was testing her. I was asking, okay, so what should persons who need these particular patient care be looking for? She went beyond. Sometimes you need to ask, let the nurse or the caregiver ask you some questions, and these are the things that is important too. So you don't just let someone come in and you interview them and then they just say, no, I don't have anything to say. And if that's a red flag. Ensure that they have questions.
When caring for someone.
Exactly.
You got to always be a listening ear when you hiring someone to care for your loved one. You're leaving their life in their hand. So you want to be careful when you're hiring people. And like we didn't touch bases, at least the three of us, our first thing should have been confidentiality.
That's important.
That's very important,
Mhm.
especially when it comes to healthcare.
Mhm.
You can't some things are left not to be said. Some people are very private when it comes to their life.
What goes on in this house
Stays
in
in
this
this
house.
house, and what goes on in their medical notes
Stays in
stays
their
in their
notes.
medical notes. So it's a whole variety of things that you can think of that you have to be careful of when hiring someone to care for your loved one.
Mhm.
And you have to be very, very careful when choosing a caretaker,
Yeah.
a nurse assistant, and a RN. So you have to be careful. And people be like, "Oh, I get a caretaker who got to take care of a person who literally on a breathing machine." How? Just to cut costs? You rather your person die? No, you got to be careful with these things, and so forth and so on.
I love that. I love that. All right, so now we get to the babysitting, the hiring nurse. No, not sorry, hiring the babysitter. With Tennille and Tennille, I just want you to. I don't know if it's anything that I did not cover, but you talk about anything else that is needed, and if not, then you can talk about Miss T's babysitting services.
I think you asked me all of the right questions, and I am one where if you have any questions, you can also just hit me up, send me a quick message on WhatsApp. 9 times out of 10, I would answer you quicker there rather than sometimes being on a call because I am back to school in the classrooms now. But you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Miss T the Babysitter, on WhatsApp or regular call 807-8283.
807-8283. Someone sent a message. You saw that message? We popped up something about I like Miss T. Can you find that for me? Let me read that real quick because I didn't have a chance to read it. Something
Everybody
about I
loves
like
Miss
Miss
T.
T. Everybody loves
Everybody
Miss
loves Miss
T.
T.
That is beautiful. Miss Kelly, yes. Man, I can't read that. Read that for me. But that's it. I can't read that from there.
I love Miss T. I need her contact. All the ladies are wonderful. Also, what's the lady's name that does caregiving?
Okay, so that would be Anik Burrows for caregiving, and of course, she recited her number. Say it again so we could put it in the thing.
So my number is 803-8181.
8181. That's for Anik Burrows. Okay. All right. And so we're gonna ask Ms. Kelly Russell to just share any last minute details, and of course, well, no, you already did that. So let's tell us about your business.
Okay, well, my business is actually
and where and how we can reach you.
Okay, so my business is actually a placement agency. So we save the client time, we save the agent time by shortlisting the agent. We say curating. We curate the agent to fit your need.
Yes.
And especially with professionals, they don't have the time to do all of the background checks, all of the interviews, and all of that good stuff. And what we do is once we would have vetted the agents, we bring them in for an interview. And guess what? Unlike any other agency, we don't even charge a registration fee. Don't charge a registration fee. No. Okay. And we pre-record the interview, asking vital questions so that at the end of the day, when you and your husband get home, you could interview, or you can see interviews of 3 agents in 15 minutes, 5 minutes each.
Some good work.
Okay.
That's some good
and
work.
make that decision based. And guess what? We charge you a one-time small fee to have access to our portfolio of agents, and you can go through until you find your right fit.
I love that.
And so we save the agent time because once they're recorded, we can put them in the front of many persons, which increases the opportunity of hire.
Yes.
And then of course we save the client time with regards to shortlisting based on the discovery call and based on what their needs are, and only send to them exactly what it is that they want.
I love that. I went through an agency before. I don't know if I don't want to say the name, but this Sandy Port area around there, right? Yeah, and there was a fee, And couple other discrepancies would cause me to go back into individual hiring.
Well, I want to let you know that we are state of the art
Come on. What's
agency.
the
We're
name?
not
Hold
like
on.
a
What's the name
regular.
of your
It's
agency?
made for you, Bahamas.
Made for you, Bahamas.
Made for you, Bahamas.
And where are you
801,
located?
801 made.
801 Made.
Okay, as simple as that.
Where are you located?
I'm Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza,
Harbor Bay Shopping
and
Plaza.
offices at the Bay in
Mhm,
Suite 15.
mhm.
And you know what? They don't even have to come to us because we do basically everything over the phone
Yeah,
and electronically
I
to
love
save
that.
time,
I love
because
that.
time is something that cannot be accrued.
No,
Okay. And so it's vitally important, especially for individuals who are professionals who really and
yeah,
truly don't have
I
that
got time
time.
for that.
We do all the work. And of course, we collaborate with other persons
Mhm.
with regards to a company that does investigations and background checks and go deeper than what we usually would do, you
Mhm.
know? And so we save the client and the agent's time.
Time. That's
Okay.
important.
And we negotiate and we police and we train. What is that?
We're putting your the Facebook account on our screen as you speak. I think it's so beautiful because it's so professionally done. He's doing that right now as we speak. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah.
Continue.
So we do the screening, we do the investigation, we call the references, and we train them in ethical practices. We let them know, hey, listen, you're representing the brand because
Yes.
we are recommending you
Yes.
and we expect you to stay to the brand standard.
Standards.
And
Mhm.
so when these persons get anybody who we recommend, they can have that peace of mind to
Yeah.
know that, hey, listen, we're taking responsibility for these persons.
Mhm.
We're guiding them. They're not out there just doing whatever they. And so their premium dollar is going to be reciprocated by
Yes.
premium work
Work. Yeah, the quality. I love
and
that. I
quality.
love that. I love that. All right, ladies, you have been more than good to us at your lane today. You've given us so much information and it's beautiful. And we are grateful. And we want to say thank you for being a part of your lane talk show today. And we have all gotten something. Even each of us had a question for each person represented here. Because you came with so much information and we are grateful. We're grateful for it. And so as we are wrapping up, we want to say thank you. And for those who may be struggling with relationship issues, all right, as a dedicated life coach, I offer personalized guidance to help you build stronger, healthier connections. Together, we'll navigate challenges, improve communication, and create meaningful, lasting bonds. Let's transform your relationships and enrich your life. Reach out today for a brighter tomorrow. You can give us a call at 376-8689. That's 376-8689. Or go to our website at www.yourlanelifecoaching.com to schedule an appointment today. I want to thank you to our Your Lane sponsors. We want to thank the Perfume Bar, John Shoe Store and Accessories, Your Lane Life Coaching, and Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store. Once again, Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store wants to get you ready for back to school. They have ready-made uniforms and uniform fabrics for almost every school in the Bahamas. At Carrie's, you will find skirts, Peter Pan blouses, cotton and regular shirts, jumpers, boys' shorts and long pants, neckties, socks, underwear, and hair accessories. At Carrie's, you will also find a large selection of durable school bags like Adidas, Puma, JanSport, Reebok, and more. Find exciting character backpacks and lunch bags for the kids. You can even have your uniform skirts custom made. Check out their selection of embroidered cotton shirts tomorrow. That's Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street. Give them a call tomorrow at 393-0758 or 817-0758. To the businesses out there, if you wish to sponsor your Lane Talk Show, we will be more than happy to have you on board. We have excellent packages to suit any of your budget. Doesn't matter the budget size, we're there to assist. We want to make sure that you're on board, especially if you love the show, you enjoy what we do here. Give us a call at 376-8689 and we'll be happy to suit your budget. Thank you to my producer Beats. As always, you're always holding it down for us. I mean, you ask more questions than the people who's supposed to be asking the question, but that's okay because that's what it's all about, right? That's what it's all about. So thank you to our first time listening audience. You've been awesome. Thank you to those who are on Facebook. Thank you for the questions and the responses, the inputs. Thank you once again to my guests. And we ask that you all please follow Your Lane Life Coaching on Facebook to get all of the updates and goodies for the show. And you can also go to Coach Trish Hannah on YouTube to watch the previous shows. And when you do go there, please like and subscribe. I pray that you were all empowered, educated, and encouraged today. And until next time, have a blessed Sunday, everyone. Turn it down for me. We're still on Facebook. Real quick, anyone have anything to say? We're done with the radio part. Real quick on Facebook. Anyone have anything else to say before we leave? Any shout outs?
Follow Missy the babysitter. Thank you.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
But any of your needs, even if you need me to travel with you, I'm there. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I don't only just cater to housekeepers, nannies, caregivers, and maids. We also help out the autism community with our paraprofessionals. We also have our male maestros, we call them, who do gardening, landscaping, and maintenance, and all those good things.
Wow.
And
this is one-stop shop.
Yeah, it is. You know, and so of course, we offer it all, and we make sure that when they come, they present professionally in order to maintain the brand. And so check out our Facebook page. Everything is there, and we give tips and you know, remember now, we're not a cleaning company.
Right.
We are a placement agency. And so persons, even cleaning companies, if they need people to work, especially if they have a contract and they need trained people, they can come and extract from our pool. If you need caregivers, your company, you can come and get them.
Exactly.
A little bit of staff.
Yes,
exactly.
And that's what we're there for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Networking.
Yeah, that's important. And I'm glad, because even when I saw y'all three in the foyer, I was like, y'all get to know each other, whatever, and y'all just laughing, cracking joke. I said, Lord, look at this, because this is what it's all about. And at the end of the day, I feel privileged to know that you all are connected, because basically y'all service the Bahamian people,
and
you know,
that's what's so small,
right? And just and glean from each other. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's
Collaboration is key. Okay.
But I did not bring my customized tumbler. I have somebody that does my customized dry fit for when I need to go in the pool with the kids.
Right.
My tumblers, everything in the book. Citistry. Thank you very much.
That's you.
No, that's not me.
Who's that?
That's somebody that does my logos and my apparel and my tumblers. So you guys could hit her up too.
Well, maybe she could be a sponsor on the show. Give it a free commercial. Tell her. Bring her money and sponsor the show.
I think if it was her, you would understand that. All right. So we're done. Thank you so much, y'all. That's the joke for the day. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.